Hey, hey. All right, Virgos, let's go ahead and jump on in, Virgos. We're just going to see where this one takes us. Do bear in mind, we're headed up for a full moon, so we may have a little influence of that as well. But we've got the Ace of Pentacles. There is a new beginning on Virgo's horizon. I would say this is definitely for Virgo. Virgo's got their sights set on something, or the universe has a plan for Virgo. What is this plan that the universe has for Virgo for a new beginning? Queen of Cups. Um, First off, Virgo's life may take on a whole secondary energy. And I say that because we have like the Selkies here in the background. And in mythology, you know, the Selkies are seals that can then come up on land and slip out of their seal skins and live life as a mortal human woman if they wish to. But they tend to always go back into the sea as a seal again. So I'm feeling like there's a duality. Like whatever Virgo does right now, they're about to have a change that could be very emotionally fulfilling. But this Virgo has more than one wonderful thing to do in their life. Sometimes they're focused on, you know, giving, sharing, and loving, and, you know, spending time with like family members and whatnot. And other times it's more about their, you know, their silky life when they're out in the sea swimming and, you know, being totally free and independent. We have a Seven of Pentacles and we have a Six of Swords. I can't figure out which chapter comes next. My impression is that Virgo's single life is coming to a close. That, I mean, they can always still, you know, maintain their original identity because they have this duality. But I think for the emotional fulfillment to see a person with their child, I'm going to say that it's the time for Virgo's life now is to be able to nurture bonds and connections that are emotionally fulfilling with others. The Seven of Pentacles also makes me think of that. It's time for a harvest. And in some respects, I think Virgo's single journey had some significant lessons that were painful that they learned, but they don't have to linger anymore in those painful lessons. Something in Virgo's life, one very, very, very big life lesson, was about loss, perhaps, and grieving. And it was also maybe about learning how to protect oneself a little bit better, because we see these obsidian arrowheads. And I just feel like Virgo has learned better how to, whatever their lesson was as a single individual, they have learned better how to protect themselves, how to maybe not even invest in things that are just going to become losses. And now it's time for the harvest. Now it's time for them to have a really, truly successful, I'll say, union. Yeah, this is, Virgo's not aware of it, I don't think, but particularly right around this full moon, I think Virgo's life is going to take a massive shift. This is them coming out of the the cave of the ancestors. This is our Virgo. They've been doing some deep healing. They're in a, we see the cave, and this is very much, you know, my Australia card. We have all these beautiful didgeridoos and Australian Aboriginal artwork, you know, on the side of like the sacred outcropping or cave. And then on top of the earth, we have kind of like the kangaroos running with wild abandon. And I just feel like this is where we go when we need to heal. We go into ourselves, and that's where we connect to our ancestors, or that's where we connect to, you know, our personal power, and we get ourselves like recharged, and then we can rejoin the kangaroos again. You know, we can rejoin the kangaroo race. Virgo has perhaps been single for quite some time in this story. They've been healing with the help of the ancestors, even if they didn't know it. And they don't realize they're about to be ejected out of that little quiet space that they have created for themselves, and be more front and center, and be in an emotionally satisfying connection. Somebody could get a new pet that they're going to take care of. Somebody could start to nurture a relationship. They could wind up having a child, or suddenly raising a grandchild, or adopting, or they could have a brand new idea of something that they really care about in their own life, that they start really focusing on nurturing and spending their time on. But we do have a Four of Cups. Virgo has been operating at like a deficit for a long time, as far as their bowls are all empty. Their emotional bowls have been empty for a while. But it turns out we have one big old bowl of pasta right here. and that we've got the sunlight streaming in. This is a card of illusions. I think, if anything, Virgo had, for quite some time, they had been experiencing the feeling of significant loss. And that was what they thought life was for a while. Front and center, I have lost, I have a wound, and I have to heal. What is it that Virgo was healing? Knight of Wands. Okay, so somebody may have taken Virgo for a ride. They took Virgo's energy. This could have been, this is a player. This is somebody who pops into Virgo's life, leaves again. This could be something or someone that was there for a good time, not a long time, very charismatic, and they could have caused tons of confusion and tons of like almost disorienting energy for Virgo, and just like, I don't know where did the stability go? I don't know what to believe in anymore. And it could have been that Virgo had a lover. This lover, by the way, could have had, maybe they're born in a year of the dragon, or they were just very powerful, very sexy, very alluring, but they did not bring an ounce of stability to Virgo's life. And every time they left, I think that they took more of Virgo's peace, calm, stability, and maybe even trust, And so that has changed, though. Obviously, we've had a significant change there. But with that in mind, I mean, this is great to see the change, right? That's what Virgo has had an ending in. That's what they have had a loss in. And it really depleted them. To see those empty cups on the Four of Cups, or those empty bowls, rather, I think it really depleted Virgo. Yeah, we have a Five of Pentacles. It depleted everything Virgo had. And I'm thinking love, energy, their sense of self, their trust in people, their belief in people, their belief in love. I mean, this was devastating for Virgo. I can see why they took so long to heal. However, it's happened, and it's almost happened without Virgo's realization that they're done healing now. It's an illusion that there still is an absence in their life. This is where the universe is like, Virgo's going to be seeing a brand new something pops into their life. Can we get, actually, I feel like I should change decks again. Can we get some kind of imagery on what is this that is changing in Virgo's life? We know it's Queen of Cups. It's going to be emotionally fulfilling. We know it feels like a brand new timeline. Okay, there's going to be a huge sense of profound healing with the Four of Swords. I feel like Virgo is going to wake up one morning and say, I don't know what's different about me, but I just feel good. I feel calm. I feel comfortable. I feel happy. Six of Swords. I feel like I got over something. I feel like a pain. It could even be that Virgo had a routine where they would, think about whatever it was that had hurt them in the past. And now they're like, you know what? I can't squeeze any tears out. This is weird. Normally, like maybe every day I used to cry about this, but instead I feel like I just feel over it. I feel better. We have the Six of Swords coming out twice. So we know that Virgo's whole life, the biggest shift first is the acknowledgement that I don't hurt over this anymore. Okay, that is fabulous, to not hurt over something anymore. We have the Tower upright. Tower is massive change. I'm trying to figure out what the change is, and we just keep seeing it's change. It's better. It's the emotion of healing. It's coming out of this locked mindset. What does that mean? If Virgo's whole world, okay, their possibilities are opening up like crazy. All of a sudden, I feel like even Virgo's like palette of like whatever clothing they wear is going to get lighter. They may discover that they're wearing brighter colors, yellows, whites. I mean, this is nice. April is a month for Easter, and it tends to be softer color tones anyway. And springtime is a great time to think about renewal. And so I'm not surprised that all of a sudden Virgo's going to have a plethora of options that open up to them. Now, part of it is they're going to go back to thinking about and thinking optimistically about all the things that they'd like to do with their life, all the things they can do. Virgo could suddenly get a little bee in their bonnet to do tons and tons of different activities. We have a Six of Pentacles in the reverse. I don't know. This would normally be somebody who's like, okay, I got to go and work on this. I got to go do an apology tour. I got to go reconnect to people. I think that first and foremost, this is more like what changes in Virgo is their own energy flow, the way they feel about life, the way they feel about what they can do next. Okay, so it's not really instantly about Virgo connecting to anybody else. This is a Virgo who's going to be getting their mojo back and starting to think about the relationships that they want and thinking about the things that they want to do. We have the Empress and we have the Sun, Libra, Taurus, and Leo. By the way, I will be doing the zodiacs today as well. This is starting to feel really powerful, like our Virgo is in charge of their life again. If Virgo was always supposed to be in a leadership position, they're going to find themselves there. They've been quiet. I'm surprised we don't have the Hermit, because they have been tucked away for a long time and healing from whatever that wishy-washy energy was. And Virgo is coming back bigger, better, stronger than ever. Virgo could rise to a position of prominence in their town, in their area, in their career path. Virgo could become very successful. They could be somebody that a lot of people know Virgo's name, seemingly overnight success. This could be Virgo rising to fame overnight. Okay, this is not our Virgo. We have somebody who's laying awake at night thinking about Virgo, and they're really stressed out. And maybe it's because Virgo comes to this place of prominence. Maybe, I don't know, who is this who's fretting over Virgo? Okay, so a King of Swords in the reverse, somebody who treated Virgo awful. Plain and simple. Why'd you do that? The Chariot, it was a chess game to me. I didn't want Virgo to win. What are you so scared of? What are you so worried about now? Three of Cups. Okay, so I'm going to say it this way. The person that drained Virgo was their karmic ex, and they were a King of Swords, and they might have been a cheat. They wanted to take Virgo down a couple thousand notches. They thought Virgo was powerful, and now Virgo is more powerful than when they played whatever these mind games, whatever the chess game was. They thought that they won, and now they're pretty petrified because they're realizing not only did they not win, but something about the energy dynamic has shifted. Look, this person is still very much attached to Virgo's energy source. Virgo, the more Virgo rises and feels powerful, the less power this karmic has. The more Virgo frees themselves of the game that they thought they won, it's like the ultimate checkmate. Virgo's over them. I can see why it was hard for Virgo to get beyond them, though. This person is still so, somehow, talk about karmic connection, right? They have been feeding off of Virgo's energy. And I'll say maybe energy vampire-esque. They liked the idea that they won over Virgo. If that's why they were wishy-washy, if they were a player, this person is they actually have a lot of fear. And somehow Virgo challenged them. Virgo made them feel less powerful, so they wanted to take away Virgo's power. This person doesn't even know that they do this. They don't realize how. I feel like this is somebody who's probably still they monitor Virgo or they pay attention to Virgo because they don't want Virgo to be doing so well. They would rather think that Virgo is sad over whatever happened with them instead of that Virgo is branching out, blossoming, their tree of life is going well. This isn't somebody who's like, oh, I hope Virgo's good. Man, I sure messed up with Virgo. This is somebody who's just still saying, oh no, Virgo looks so happy. I felt better when I thought Virgo was sad. That's so mean. That's somebody who's got so much that they need to work on in themselves. I feel like that King of Swords in the reverse is a very tragic character. Justice. Yeah, and they could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, emphasis on the Libra. Whatever it is that they think is unfair. The way they treated Virgo, unfair. But I feel like they're petrified because they know that karma is going to come back to them. The more Virgo is over them, the more they're having to realize somehow, the magnitude of, I didn't wish that Virgo well, and I did play mind games on that Virgo, and Virgo's good without me, and Virgo got over me. Virgo doesn't hurt over this anymore, and now I'm forced to look at what I did. I think they're just afraid of whatever their karma is going to be. The more Virgo is rising. We've got a King of Pentacles. We got the Six of Wands. Everything that they see, and I also think more than anything, what their karma is. They already know Virgo is an absolute catch. I think if they spy on Virgo, they see Virgo looking sexier than ever, better than ever. They may see a sense of peace and joy. They may see Virgo interacting with friends and family. They may notice that Virgo has had a profound glow up, and that they may even be saying Virgo has somebody else. Somebody else is loving my Virgo and treating my Virgo right. And it's making them feel very, very small indeed. As long as they thought Virgo still wanted them and was sad over them, I know it sounds terrible, but that's what made them feel better, like they were somebody, because Virgo was sad over them. Now that Virgo's not sad over them, the reality of it is I don't even factor into Virgo's life, and Virgo is happy with somebody else. And now they can admit Virgo is so beautiful. That might have been what the whole challenge was. Maybe they thought Virgo was too attractive. Virgo was destined to do too many great things, and they felt challenged by Virgo. And so they wanted to take Virgo down a notch or two. Well, they did. That King of Swords, that karmic energy that Virgo knew in the past, they definitely impacted Virgo in a negative way. And Virgo had to spend a lot of time to get healed over this. But they're jumping timelines now. And I do think Virgo is going to be extremely sought after with that King of Pentacles card, but with a feminine on it. Three of Wands, we got the Nine of Swords. This Virgo might have to get comfortable in their own skin again. They may, I feel like this has been a 3-year process for Virgo to truly heal and move on and deal with their own worries and their own fears. What's crazy is that sometimes when we get too caught up in our own worries and fears, but yet we're working on healing, what we don't realize is just how much we've changed. Virgo looks better as they age. This Virgo is more sophisticated, more sexy, more, they have a nice authentic air to them too, I'm going to say. It feels to me like this Virgo has a really grounded energy to them. We have the Fool card, talk about a new chapter of Virgo's life. Virgo's about to possibly meet all new characters. First, they have some really great relationships with friends. They're laughing more. Our Virgo's going to have a much better time. But on top of that, they're about to head into unknown territory. And I'm going to say, Ace of Wands, real love. I think Virgo hasn't had that. And I think that's what they're headed into first and foremost. That Ace of Wands says real love, big love. Knight of Pentacles, nice, slow. I think it's going to go at a pace that Virgo is comfortable with. But I think Virgo's going to be falling in love, or someone's already falling in love with Virgo, and they could be a King of Pentacles. I don't know if Virgo will have ever been loved like this before. This is a love story, though, that is, they stay with this person. I feel like this person is going to be an earth sign, even though I should say Aries, but I feel like Virgo's person is an earth sign, and they are a beautiful match. And it's so crazy because to have like a new life adventure with the right partner, that's what Virgo's about to have. And instead of an ex who treated Virgo badly, being like, you know, man, I'm glad that they're happy now because I know I didn't do right. They're just more petrified about how awful it is that they have to remember that they lost Virgo. Look, I don't see that ex changing, but that's not what the story was about. The story was about Virgo's progression in their own life. The ex seems to remain quite the toxic pattern, the karmic, but that's not somebody Virgo is going back to. So what a relief on that. You guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.